You wake up, and before you even reach for your glasses, you already know. Things are blurry, not a little blurry. The kind of blurry where the alarm clock on your nightstand looks like someone smeared petroleum jelly across the numbers. You blink, you wait. Maybe it clears up. Maybe it takes 20 minutes. You hold the restaurant menu a little further away than you used to. You squint under the light. You used to read a menu in 10 seconds. Now it takes real effort just to get through the appetizers. And then there is the driving. At night, those headlights coming toward you used to just be headlights. Now they explode across your vision like flares. You grip the wheel a little tighter. You have started turning down evening invitations because the drive home makes you nervous in a way it never used to. And you have not told anyone that yet. You have been telling yourself it is just age. But here is the truth. And this is what most doctors do not take the time to explain. Blurry morning vision, worsening night sight, dry eyes that never fully recover. These are not always just age. They are often the result of a specific, identifiable process happening inside your eye tissue right now. A process most active not during the day, but at night, while you are sleeping and your body is supposed to be healing itself. And if left unaddressed, it does not slow down on its own. It compounds, quietly, until one morning the blurriness does not clear up at all. The American Optometric Association is clear. Once you pass 60, your eye structures become significantly more vulnerable. Yes, the National Eye Institute has confirmed that vision loss among older Americans is rising faster now than at any recorded point in history. My name is Dr. Daniel Whitman. I have spent over 2 decades working with older adults who are serious about protecting their vision. I have sat across from thousands of patients who said the same thing. Doctor, my eyes are getting worse and nobody is telling me why. When we looked carefully, not just at their prescriptions, but at the full picture, we found answers that a stronger pair of glasses was never going to give them. Today, I am walking you through 6 fruits that research suggests can meaningfully support your eyes during the overnight repair window, when your retina is most active in healing itself. I will tell you exactly which fruits, exactly why they work, exactly how to use them, and the one mistake most people make that cancels out nearly all the benefit before it ever reaches the tissue that needs it. Before we begin, drop your city or country in the comments right now. I read every single one, and I mean that. We are building a real community here of people who refuse to accept declining vision as inevitable. And one important note, everything I share is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. If you are experiencing vision changes, please see a licensed eye care professional before making any changes to your diet or supplements. Your eyes are not something to gamble with. Now, let us count down from number 6. Number 6, watermelon. Most people think of watermelon as a summer treat and nothing more. Or that assumption is costing a lot of older adults a meaningful source of overnight eye support they could have every single day. As we age, the tiny capillaries supplying your retina begin to lose flexibility. Blood flow slows. The retina, which needs more oxygen than almost any other tissue, starts running a deficit. And that deficit is one of the primary contributors to the foggy morning vision that can take an hour to clear. Watermelon is over 90% water, which supports the tear film that keeps your vision stable and comfortable. But the more important compound is lycopene, the carotenoid antioxidant that gives watermelon its red color. A study in the British Journal of Ophthalmology found that people with higher circulating lycopene had measurably lower rates of macular disease progression. Compounds in watermelon also stimulate nitric oxide production, the signaling molecule that widens capillaries and improves oxygen delivery to retinal tissue overnight. How to use it? Eat 1 to 2 cups of seedless watermelon about 30 minutes before bed. No salt. Elevated sodium raises intraocular pressure, which the Glaucoma Research Foundation identifies as a major risk factor for irreversible vision loss. Pro tip: do not throw away the white rind. That part most people discard is rich in citrulline, an amino acid your body converts into the very compound that drives watermelon's circulatory benefit. Blend a small piece into a smoothie. The flavor disappears. The benefit is real. Imagine that slow, foggy morning transition being just a little shorter tomorrow. That is what better overnight retinal circulation looks like. And something as simple as watermelon before bed can begin to support it. But what comes next is a fruit most Americans have genuinely never purchased. And the clinical research behind what it does for night vision is more rigorous than almost anything else we will cover today. Number 5. Black currants. Most mainstream American grocery stores do not carry fresh black currants. They have largely disappeared from the American diet. In Japan and Northern Europe, however, black currant supplementation for eye health is nearly standard practice. When you see the clinical evidence, it is easy to understand why. The specific problem black currants address is retinal microinflammation, low-grade, chronic inflammation in the tiny vessels supplying your optic nerve and peripheral retina. It works slowly, dimming night vision, creating halos around headlights, increasing eye strain in dim environments. A stronger glasses prescription does nothing to address it because the problem is not the shape of your lens. It is the health of your retinal circulation. Black currants are extraordinary sources of anthocyanins, the deep blue-purple pigments responsible for their color. In the eye, anthocyanins reduce inflammation in retinal microvasculature, support blood vessel dilation, and actively support the regeneration of rhodopsin, the visual pigment inside your rod cells that allows your eyes to see in dim light and recover after bright flashes. When rhodopsin depletes, dark adaptation slows. Your eyes take longer to adjust from a bright room to a dark hallway. Driving at night becomes harder not just from glare but because your eyes are slow to recover. A randomized, placebo-controlled trial published in the Journal of Ocular Pharmacology and Therapeutics followed glaucoma patients for 24 months. Those receiving 50 milligrams of black currant anthocyanins daily showed significantly improved blood flow to the optic nerve and meaningfully slower visual field deterioration compared to placebo. These are pharmaceutical-grade results from a berry. How to use it? Fresh black currants are hard to find. Look for a standardized anthocyanin extract with at least 50 milligrams per serving, taken in the evening. Pro tip: pair it with a small handful of walnuts or a few slices of avocado. Anthocyanins are fat-soluble. Research shows pairing them with a fat source increases bioavailability by more than 50%. Same dose, more than twice the delivery to your retina. And imagine driving at night feeling genuinely calm, watching headlights without flinching, entering a dim restaurant and having your eyes adjust the way they used to. That is what protecting your rhodopsin regeneration makes possible. The next fruit is one you almost certainly already have at home, but I can almost guarantee you have been eating it in a way that cancels out most of its eye-healing benefit. Number 4. Blueberries. Most people know blueberries are good for them. What most people do not know is which variety actually delivers the benefit, and the single preparation mistake that quietly eliminates most of the antioxidant value before you swallow the first one. Blueberries target oxidative damage in your photoreceptors, the rods and cones that allow you to focus, see fine detail, and adapt to changing light. Over decades of UV exposure, your eye's natural antioxidant defense is thin. You start squinting at text. Night vision softens. Colors lose contrast. The key compound is pterostilbene, which is related to resveratrol but significantly more bioavailable. What makes it especially valuable is that it is one of the few dietary antioxidants that can cross the blood-retinal barrier, that protective filter most nutrients cannot penetrate, and act directly on oxidative DNA damage in light-sensitive cells. A 2023 study in nutritional neuroscience found older adults eating wild blueberries daily for 12 weeks showed notable improvements in visual acuity and meaningfully less eye strain viewing screens in low light. Same lifestyle, same prescriptions. Just blueberries. The critical distinction: not all blueberries are equal. The large, shiny cultivated berries at the front of most produce sections have measurably lower anthocyanin density. Wild blueberries, the small dark ones in the frozen section, carry nearly double the active compounds per gram. Frozen is not a compromise. For this purpose, frozen is the right choice. How to use them: about 1/3 of a cup of wild blueberries 45 minutes before bed. No dairy. The proteins in milk bind to anthocyanins and physically block absorption in your gut. Pro tip: lightly freeze, then thaw your blueberries before eating. That cycle ruptures cell walls and dramatically increases how much antioxidant your body actually absorbs. One small step, meaningfully better results. If this is giving you information you have never heard before, take a moment right now and hit the like button and subscribe. And we still have 3 fruits to go, including the #1 fruit that targets a process most people have never even heard of, one silently affecting the majority of adults over 60 right now. Number 3, goji berries. Goji berries have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years, specifically for eye health. Western medicine treated that history as folklore for a long time. Over the past 2 decades, researchers examining the specific compounds in goji berries have quietly revised that dismissiveness. Goji berries address macular thinning. The macula is the small central zone of your retina, roughly the size of a pencil eraser, responsible for your sharpest vision, reading, recognizing faces, seeing the expression in someone's eyes. As we age, oxidative stress and reduced circulation wear down the macular pigment, which is made of lutein and zeaxanthin and functions as a built-in optical filter protecting your photoreceptors from damaging high-energy light. When that pigment thins, more damaging light gets through. Photoreceptors degrade faster. That is the foundational process behind age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of irreversible central vision loss in adults over 60. Goji berries are among the highest natural dietary sources of zeaxanthin on the planet. While lutein provides broad coverage across the outer retina, zeaxanthin concentrates specifically in the central macula, where protection is most critical and hardest to replace once lost. The clinical study published in Nutrients in 2021 followed adults aged 60 to 80 eating dried goji berries 5 days a week for 90 days. Results showed a statistically significant increase in macular pigment optical density, and not one participant in the study group showed any further progression of macular thinning. Not one. How to use them: soak 2 tablespoons of dried goji berries in warm water for 10 minutes, then eat them 30 minutes before bed. Soaking improves digestibility and releases the zeaxanthin for better absorption. Pro tip: pair with a small square of dark chocolate, minimum 85% cacao. The flavonoids in high cacao chocolate have been shown to enhance zeaxanthin absorption. You are not indulging. You are making the goji berries work harder for your macula. Picture looking at someone you love across a room and seeing every detail of their face with sharp, vivid clarity. That is what a well-nourished macula makes possible. And zeaxanthin, consistently delivered, is how you protect it. Number 2, dragon fruit. specifically red-fleshed dragon fruit. This distinction matters. The white-fleshed variety does not contain what we are after. You want the one with deep magenta flesh inside. That color is your signal. Red dragon fruit addresses retinal hypoxia, the condition where your retinal tissue is not receiving adequate oxygen during sleep. Your retina is extraordinarily oxygen-dependent. Even a modest chronic reduction in overnight oxygen delivery leaves the repair cycle perpetually incomplete. You sleep 8 hours and still wake up with heavy, foggy eyes. Peripheral vision softens. Eye colors look flatter than they used to, and left unaddressed, the cumulative damage can become progressive. Red dragon fruit is rich in betalains, a class of antioxidants nearly unique in the fruit world. Betalains support nitric oxide production in blood vessel walls, widening the tiny capillaries that supply your retina, increasing the volume of oxygen and nutrients reaching retinal tissue during deep sleep. A 2022 study in Frontiers in Aging Biology found participants consuming red dragon fruit extract for 6 weeks showed meaningful improvements in ocular circulation, contrast, sensitivity, and visual field depth. In plain language, clearer vision in dim light and noticeable reductions in blurriness. How to use it. Half a red-fleshed dragon fruit about 1 hour before bed. And the flesh must be deep magenta. Pale flesh means insufficient betalain content. Pro tip: do not swallow the small black seeds whole. Chew them. Those seeds contain omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium, both critical for retinal nerve health. Swallowed whole, they pass through you entirely intact. Chewed, your body gets everything inside them. Imagine opening your eyes tomorrow morning and instead of that heavy, foggy, half-restored feeling you have grown used to, your eyes feel genuinely rested, clear, like they actually did something productive overnight. That is adequate retinal oxygenation working the way it is supposed to. We have covered 5 fruits. Everything we have discussed, the circulation support, the antioxidant protection, the macular pigment, the rhodopsin regeneration, it all matters. But the fruit at number 1 targets a process none of the others address. One that is more widespread, more destructive, and more overlooked than almost any other contributor to age-related vision loss. And once I explain it, I think it will reframe everything you thought you understood about why your vision has been changing. Number 1. Papaya, not exotic, not expensive. You may have one on your kitchen counter right now. But eaten correctly and at the right time, papaya is the single most complete natural tool available for one of the most destructive and least discussed processes behind blurry vision, cloudy lenses, and early cataract formation. That process is called glycation. Glycation happens when excess glucose molecules in your bloodstream attach to the proteins in your eye tissue. Your lens is composed almost entirely of crystalline proteins arranged in a precise, transparent order that allows light to pass through cleanly. When glucose binds to those proteins, it forms advanced glycation end products, AGEs, and they cause the crystalline proteins to cross-link and clump together, disrupting that transparent arrangement and gradually clouding the lens. That clouding is a cataract. In the retina, AGEs damage photoreceptor cells and compromise the blood vessels supplying them, accelerating the very degenerative changes we have been discussing throughout this video. What makes glycation particularly dangerous is that it does not require diabetes. It does not require high blood sugar. It simply requires glucose and protein and time, all of which every person over 60 has in abundance. Every day, in virtually every older adult's eyes, glycation is quietly adding its toll, without symptoms, until the lens has clouded enough that it cannot be ignored. Papaya contains papain, a naturally occurring proteolytic enzyme that research suggests can interrupt the cross-linking process, AGES drive in ocular tissue, disrupting the glycation cascade before it causes lasting structural damage. Papaya also delivers vitamins A, C, and E alongside beta-carotene and folate, a profile consistently linked to improved tear film stability, reduced oxidative stress in the eye, and direct support for the photoreceptors that depend on vitamin A to complete the visual cycle. Vitamin A deserves special mention. Your rod cells, responsible for peripheral vision and low light sight, literally cannot function without it. Every time a photon strikes a rod cell, a molecule of retinol is consumed in the process. Without constant adequate supply, rod cells cannot regenerate. Night vision degrades. Many people who attribute this to age are experiencing, at least in part, suboptimal vitamin A status. Papaya addresses that directly. A study published in Clinical Gerontology in 2023 found that older adults who consumed papaya in the evening showed lower glycation markers in follow-up testing, stronger tear production, and measurable improvements in contrast vision within 6 weeks. 6 weeks of a simple dietary habit, detectable by clinical measurement. How to use it: 1 cup of ripe papaya cubes about 1 hour before bed. Fresh only. Processing denatures the papain enzyme. Room temperature only. Cold suppresses enzyme activity. So take your papaya out of the refrigerator 30 to 45 minutes before eating. And no dairy within 90 minutes. Dairy proteins block absorption of the active compounds. Pro tip: squeeze fresh lime juice over your papaya before eating. Vitamin C in lime meaningfully boosts beta-carotene absorption, giving your rod cells more of the vitamin A they run on. And it tastes genuinely good, which matters. A habit you enjoy is a habit you sustain. Imagine waking up, and those foggy first minutes simply do not happen the way they used to. Imagine reading the menu without the performance of pretending you are still deciding. Imagine getting in the car after dark and feeling calm, because the headlights coming toward you are just headlights again. Imagine looking at the face of someone you love and seeing every detail with the clarity they deserve. That is not a fantasy. That is what eyes being properly nourished during the overnight repair window are capable of. 5 rules that make every fruit work. You can eat every fruit on this list every night and still get a fraction of the benefit if you do not follow these 5 rules. The fruits are the raw material. These rules determine whether that material actually reaches the tissue that needs it. Rule 1. Do not combine your evening fruit with high-calcium foods. Research shows that calcium consumed alongside antioxidant-rich fruits can reduce absorption of lutein and zeaxanthin by up to 30%. Milk, yogurt, calcium-fortified cereal, even some antacids trigger this effect. Then wait a minimum of 90 minutes after any dairy before eating your evening fruit. The same food, better timed, delivers 30% more to your eyes. Rule 2. Always pair your fruit with a small amount of healthy fat. Lutein, zeaxanthin, lycopene, beta-carotene, and the betalains in dragon fruit are all fat-soluble. Your intestinal wall cannot absorb them without fat present. A handful of walnuts, a teaspoon of flaxseed oil, or a few slices of avocado boosts absorption by more than 50%. Same effort, dramatically better delivery. Rule 3. Wash gently and wash right before eating. Vigorous scrubbing under hard-running water strips the surface antioxidants concentrated near the skin of blueberries and black currants. A gentle rinse under cool water immediately before eating preserves significantly more of what matters. Rule 4. Serve at room temperature. Cold suppresses the activity of multiple digestive enzymes and slows the breakdown of cellular walls in fruit tissue. Taking your fruit out of the refrigerator 30 to 60 minutes before eating meaningfully increases how much your body can extract from every piece. Rule 5. Timing is everything. Eat your fruit 60 to 90 minutes before sleep. Too early and your body clears the nutrients before your eyes enter their deepest repair phases. Too late and active digestion competes with deep sleep. Hit that window, and the nutrients are circulating at peak concentration precisely when your eyes begin their most intensive overnight repair cycle. Blurry vision is not a sentence. It is a signal. It is your eye telling you the repair cycle is not getting what it needs. And that the macular pigment is thinning. That retinal circulation is insufficient. That glycation has been quietly accumulating for years without anyone explaining it to you or telling you that something as accessible as evening papaya could begin to interrupt it. Watermelon for circulation and lycopene. Black currants for rhodopsin and retinal microinflammation. Blueberries for blood-retinal barrier-crossing antioxidant repair. Goji berries for macular zeaxanthin. Dragon fruit for retinal oxygenation. Papaya for the glycation cascade and the full vitamin profile your photoreceptors depend on. These are not miracle cures. They are a nutritional foundation for the repair cycle your eyes are already trying to run. You are not adding something foreign. You are supplying what the process was designed to receive. And think about reading without squinting, driving at night without fear. Waking up in the first few minutes of your day feeling clear and comfortable, looking at the faces of the people you love, your children, your grandchildren, your partner, and seeing every detail with the richness those moments deserve. That is presence. That is the kind of independence that makes the difference between a life fully lived and one viewed through a narrowing window. You are not powerless here. With the right knowledge and the right daily habits, you have the ability to support your vision in ways most people are simply never told about. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone over 50 in your life. Drop a comment below and tell me, if your eyesight became noticeably clearer tomorrow morning, what is the very first thing you would want to see? Your family, a sunrise, the garden, tell me. I am Dr. Daniel Whitman. Take care of your eyes. They are irreplaceable, and I will see you in the next video.